how would you define a woman? Because you've asked other people up here to define how we would define a woman. How would you define a woman, Mr. Walsh?
An adult human female.
And how don't trans people, how doesn't a transgender woman fit that definition?
Female.
Because they're not female. They have. You said that you are a biological male, correct?
I said I'm transgender. I might be intersex for all we know. About almost as many people in the world are transgender as intersex, and
well,
a lot of people don't know.
Well, but that's a different conversation. Intersex, that's a genetic anomaly. That's a medical condition. So that's a completely different conversation. That's also not a third gender. That's a genetic anomaly that occurs within the sex binary of male and female. What you're saying is that a quote-unquote trans woman is a female?
By the definitions I'm familiar with, yes.
So how would you define female?
Through my training in healthcare, there are several different categories for how we define sex. People bring up chromosomes. People also bring up hormone levels. People bring up all sorts of other categories. Lots of people don't fit neatly into a gender binary, even people we don't consider to be intersex. It's a complicated spectrum.
It's not complicated, but you also didn't define. So what is a woman? What is a female? What do these words mean?
It's complicated, and I know you're not going to like that answer, but that's because there are no simple answers in human biology.
Let me ask you a question.
You guys, hang on. Just let me finish. You guys like to bring up high school level biology classes a lot. I get that a lot, but people who go on to more complicated biology classes will talk about sex as a spectrum.
It's not. It's not.
Well, biological researchers would disagree with you.
Well, and they're full of shit, the ones that would say that. There are male gametes and female gametes. Oh, I had one last question.
Mr. Walsh, can I ask a question?
I had one quick. Can you come back for 1 second? Because this is an important question. You said you're an EMT.
Yes.
Okay, if you're responding to a health emergency. Biological male, somebody with a penis, is having a medical emergency, and they say to you, "I think I'm having a miscarriage." Would you check them to see if they're having a miscarriage? Would you consider that a possibility for them?
No, but that's because some people don't have body parts. Doesn't mean they're not a woman.
Okay. Sounds like we've established there are some people who, in principle, can get pregnant, and there are some people who can't. So there's two categories, otherwise known as binary.
Lots of women can't get pregnant either.
Yeah, but they're still of the nature to get pregnant. The only reason
they can't get pregnant.
Yes.
Right, Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone of Rulewell. Shalom to the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel and the rest of the elect destined to be saved. I'm the Brother Caleb from the GMS England London Forecasters Camp, back with another lesson to help edify the Lord's elect. I like to always start by saying we are the real Hebrew Israelites, and the real Israelites are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, and West Africans predominantly. But you will find Israelites that do look like the other nations because we've been scattered among all nations through our various captivities. But if your seed line by your forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible that was named Israel, and you too are an Israelite no matter what you may look like, because Numbers 1:18 tells you that your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. Now, I got this clip here that I was watching, and I thought, you know what, let me do a video on this. And at the same, on one hand, I commend this guy on the left there for, basically dropping the facts on this so-called transgender person, because there's no such thing as gender migration. You can't change your gender. And he was dropping the straight facts on him, I should call it. Now, on one hand, I applaud him for dropping the facts and destroying the he/she's argument. But then at the same time, I feel a sadness in my spirit, because this is such elementary, basic knowledge that it should not be needed to be discussed in a forum. You know, the Most High created two genders, male and female, right? Now, that's one of the most basic fundamental laws of nature, right? And has been for many generations. So the fact that such a basic and ridiculous premise has to be discussed in an open forum, and to the point where people are applauding and cheering over something basic, shows how stupid this society really is. And that's why I feel the sadness in my spirit, because it's like, imagine someone having a whole auditorium, like a lecture theatre full of people, to come on the stage and then say 1 + 1 = 2. And then everybody in the auditorium's applauding and cheering as if that's some great profound mystery that's been expounded or broken down. 1 + 1 is 2. That's fucking ridiculous. So this whole argument about how do you define female, how do you define male, and all this other kind of bullshit, this is propagated on, mainstream television, on these talk shows, and obviously in a forum such as this, where you've got this man speaking in a lecture and having to break down this most basic, rudimentary knowledge. That shows how ridiculous this society is and how stupid it is. Now, this society is ruled predominantly by Esau. I should say, don't even say predominantly, this society is ruled by Esau. And the scriptures say, as the ruler of a city is, so are they that dwell therein. Let me get that one, rather than roughly paraphrase it. Esau's a fucking waste man, and he has no business in rulership. Bear with me a second while I pull this precept. This is Sirach 10 and verse 2. Now let me start from 10 and verse 1. Sirach chapter 10 from the first verse says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Government goes back into the word mind control. So, the leaders basically set the tone for the minds of the people. Verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of a man the ruler of a city is, such are they that dwell therein. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. So Esau is a based man, Esau is a waste man, and as he is, he's trying to influence the people to be. Case in point, I was in a comic shop yesterday. I typically go in there because it's kind of what I'm into. And I picked up some items that I wanted to purchase, and I was about to approach the checkout. As I was about to approach the checkout, I saw what was clearly a man wearing a dress, wearing boots, women's coat, and it had lipstick on its face, but it also had a 5 o'clock shadow, and it had nail varnish on. And I was about to walk towards the till point, and it was in front of me. And I took one glance at it, and I thought, whoa, fuck that, man. And I backpedaled. I thought, you know what, man, I don't even want to be near that person. I'm going to wait till they finish, and then I'll approach the till point. But truth be told, the fucking freaks and weirdos that work in this comic shop, they are of the rainbow generation, man. They're the fucking Sesame Street people. Standing behind the till point with fucking purple hair, and pierced lips. And I mean, that's what this society is producing, man. If you go to any of these colleges or these universities, all you're gonna find is fucking uh wannabe activists. You know, they want to champion, oh, you know, LGBTQ rights, trans rights. They've been fucking weaponized. Your children have been weaponized to promote the agendas of the new world order, and it's very sad to behold. Because on one hand, you know, well, this is the thing. This is the way the Most High wanted it. We can see the light, we can see the truth, but the rest of the world is in complete darkness. So all of these people are groping. That's the scripture. It says they shall grope in. Drunk. They'll be drunken in the day and grope as if they are in darkness. Roughly paraphrasing. Let me get that. Bear me a second. I'll pull this precept. I found one. This is the one on drunk. Let's read this. Isaiah 19. This is quite good. Isaiah 19 and verse 14. This is Isaiah 19 verse 14. It says, Yahweh have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Now what are we in? Revelation 11. We'll go to, because it says the word Egypt there, but to prove that this is modern day Egypt, we can go to Revelation, the 11th chapter. Around 11. Verse 8, Revelation 11 and verse 8, it says, And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of that great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So this society is run by Babylon the Great, which is America, and that is known as modern day Sodom and Egypt. And I read in Isaiah 19 verse 14 that the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. And I read prior to that, as the ruler of a city is, so are they that dwell therein. So Esau's like a drunken man staggering in his own vomit, because he's not subject to the law of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and can't do what's right. This is Job 30, starting from verse 1. And by the way, the person who I saw in the comic shop with a 5 o'clock shadow and a dress, 5 o'clock shadow and a dress, rocking a stubble and a skirt look, that was an Edomite. A vile, nasty, filthy Edomite man. Now, who are the Edomites? Predominantly so-called white people upon the face of the earth. And I'm 9 times out of 10 when I see a man walking around in a dress, it's usually an Edomite. There have been odd occasions where I've seen a couple of others too, but Esau's usually the worst. Job 30 from verse 1 says this. But now this is Job speaking about the nation of Edom. It says, Now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yea, where too might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished? So they're ignorant, they're foolish. It says, For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men, they cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in the caves of the earth and in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed, and under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men, and they were viler than the earth. Now, what did the scriptures say about wearing a woman's garment? Let's get onto that, because if Esau's pushing that as if it's a good thing, they're clearly mistaken. This is Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are an abomination unto Yahweh thy God. Straight up and down. You're not supposed to be wearing a woman's not supposed to wear that which pertaineth unto a man, and a man is not supposed to wear that which pertaineth unto a woman. Now, just to quash the whole argument, because this thing is trying to talk about, oh, well, gender is a spectrum. No, it ain't a spectrum, man. Your bullshit's a sliding spectrum. The Most High deals with balance and order. What do the scriptures say? The Most High is not the author of confusion. All right. So this is Genesis 1 and 27. It says, so the powers created man in their own image. In the image of the powers created he him. Male and female created they them. So the powers created male and female because the powers, which would be the Elohim, were working off the blueprint which they had received from Yahweh Shai, who was the head of the Elohim, who he himself had received from the Heavenly Father. So that was the order given, and they created things according to that blueprint, according to that order, right? Let's go to Genesis 5 and verse 2. It says, and in the days that... Oh, that's not the one. 5 and verse 2. This is the book of the generations of Adam, because there wasn't just one man called Adam. It was a nation of people, which were essentially the Israelites. Before they were called the Israelites, they were known as the Adamites. It says, this is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that the powers created man, in the likeness of the powers made he him. There it goes, male and female created he them, and blessed them and called their name Adam. See, there you go. That shows you that it was more than one person. Because, you know, Christians will try and push it like, oh, there was just one man called Adam and one woman called Eve. No, it was a whole group of people. Because it says, and blessed them and called their name. If it was just one man, it would say blessed him and called his name Adam in the day that they were created. So there's the point. Male and female created he them, and blessed them and called their name Adam in the day they were created. So that's creation for you. It's quite simple, it's quite rudimentary, but no liars of the truth. And basically these transgender people, they're liars, and they want other people to swallow their the wine of their bullshit, but it ain't really working too tough. See, the only way that lie can rock is if you entertain it. But the scriptures say, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. I'll get that one. Isaiah 5 and verse 20 says this. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. There you go. Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine, meaning false philosophies, and men of strength to mingle strong drink, which justify the wicked for reward. See, this society justifies the wicked for reward. It justifies these people that would sow confusion in the people, because Esau wants everybody to be of that persuasion, of that reprobate mind. Because if he's got a larger population of homosexuals, that means there'll be less reproduction. Less reproduction equals diminished returns in terms of propagating the species. Therefore, it would make Esau able to rule the people a lot easier. That's why he's pushing and promoting these agendas. It ain't rocket science, man. It ain't hard to tell. Yeah, that's the point on that. But as I say, I mean, I could bring out a whole plethora more of scriptures that could edify on this point, but I don't really feel like I need to. The point of the matter is that the fact that this conversation, this 1 + 1 = 2 complication equals loud applause and cheering in an auditorium full of listeners to a lecture, is a fucking sad reflection of the state of this society. You know, it's a fucking sad reflection, and the fact that these debates are on you know, you what do they call it, midday television, breakfast news, and all this kind of shit, shows how stupid and ignorant and pathetic and how low level this society really is. So I just wanted to make that point, man, because on one hand, yeah, it's good that this guy is calling out the bullshit. He's calling out the bullshit, but the fact that it has to be called out is absolutely pathetic, man. Think about all the things that could be discussed that would be of edification and benefit to the people, to help enlighten the people, to help educate the people. And you've got these fucking can't get out of first gear type conversations that are being propagated. You know what I mean? It's like you jump in a car, you're trying to drive somewhere and you're fucking stuck in first gear because everything's so low level. You know, you're there, you want to be hitting fucking busting 60 miles per hour in a car and you can't even get to fucking 10 miles per hour because everything's stuck in first gear. That's the way I feel about this society and the ignorance of it. So with that, you know, giving all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakak Dash, double honors unto the elders, the apostles, great millstone that rule well. Shalom once again to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect destined to be saved, and Lord willing, I will catch you on the next lesson. Shalom for now.